Sit back and throw one back with your pinky in the air and a middle finger to the world, and join me, the eclectic gentleman Stephen Watts, as we look back on this day in pro wrestling history. But before we do, put that drink down, like, share, and subscribe, and without further ado, let's get our wrestling history on. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it is April 12th, and we are going to start off as we always do on a positive note. That's right, these are your pro wrestling birthdays. 1949, Japanese legend Mighty Inoue. 1960, the dirty white boy himself, Tony Anthony. And last but not least, 1975, the luchador known as Cybernetico. Of course, on the flip side of that coin, your pro wrestling deaths for April 12th. 1987, the Von Erich family curse continues. Mike Von Erich. 2016, one of the nicest guys I ever met in this business, Balls Mahoney. Alright, enough of the sad stuff. It's time to get to the meat and potatoes. That's right, these are your pro wrestling history highlights for April 12th. Grabbing that Wayback Machine and going all the way to 1909, Walter Willoughby defeats Ed Atherton for the world middleweight title in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Going super fast forward almost 20 years, 1947, Tarzan Lopez defeats Black Guzman to win the Mexican national light heavyweight title. This begins Lopez's second reign and ends Guzman's second reign. 1948, Mike Kelly defeats Gory Guerrero for the NWA World Middleweight title in Mexico City, Mexico. Jumping a full 10 years to 1958, Vern Gagne defeats Dick the Bruiser in Chicago, Illinois to win the Chicago-Detroit NWA United States Heavyweight title, beginning his second reign, which carried over into the AWA. Gagne held the title until August 1960 when he won the AWA World title. Grooving into the 60s, 1961, the Mysterious Medics defeat Bobby and Don Fields in Mobile, Alabama for the Gulf Coast NWA Southern Tag Team titles, ending the Fields' fourth reign and beginning the Medics' second. 1963, Carl Von Schuber and Ricky Waldo defeat the Masked Destroyer and Jimmy Wright for the Stampede International Tag Team titles in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. 1968 sees Mr. Wrestling defeat El Mongol in Atlanta, Georgia to win the NWA Georgia Heavyweight title, ending Mongol's fourth reign and beginning Mr. Wrestling's second. Our last stop in the 60s, 1969, Moondog Mayne defeats Luther Lindsay for the NWA Pacific Northwest Heavyweight title. This begins Mayne's sixth reign and ends Lindsay's fourth. Grabbing our polyester suits and going to the 70s, 1970 sees Bill Watts defeats the Spoiler to win the Tri-State NWA North American Heavyweight title in Tulsa, Oklahoma. 1972, Bob Kelly defeats Don Fargo for the NWA Gulf Coast Heavyweight title in Mobile, Alabama, ending Fargo's third reign and beginning Kelly's seventh. At the same event, Gorgeous George Jr. defeats Bill White for the City of Mobile Heavyweight title, beginning his second reign. 1977, Fritz Von Erich defeats Bruiser Brody in Dallas, Texas to win his 14th of 16 NWA American Heavyweight titles. Making two stops in the year 1980, first, the Wild Samoans, Afa and Sika, defeat Ivan Putski and Tito Santana for the WWF Tag Team Championships. Second stop in 1980, Bob Orton Jr. and Tony Peters defeat Terry Gibbs and Bob Roop to win the International Championship Wrestling Southeastern Tag Team titles in Knoxville, Tennessee. 1982, Bill Dundee and Steve Keirn win their second AWA Southern Tag Team titles from Bobby Eaton and Sweet Brown Sugar in Memphis, Tennessee. 1983, Ron Bass and Stan Hansen defeat Giant Baba and Jumbo Tsuruta for the NWA International Tag Team titles in Japan. Two stops in 1984. First, the Spoiler defeats Brad Armstrong to win the NWA National Heavyweight title in Wheeling, West Virginia. Second stop in 84 sees the Grapplers, Len Denton and Tony Anthony, defeat Jerry and Ted Oates in Kansas City, Kansas to win the NWA Central States Tag Team titles. 1987, Rick Steiner and Sting defeat Chris Adams and Terry Taylor to win the UWF World Tag Team titles in Atlanta, Georgia. Grabbing our flannels and going to the decade of grunge, 1991, Eric Embry defeats Bill Dundee for the USWA Texas Heavyweight title in Dallas, Texas. This begins Embry's 5th reign and ends Dundee's 2nd. At the same event, Jeff Jarrett defeats Tom Pritchard in a rematch from their April 8th match, also in Dallas, Texas, to win his 3rd USWA Southern Heavyweight title. 1993, Simply Divine, Steve Dahl and Rex King win their 4th USWA Tag Team titles in Memphis, Tennessee, ending the Moondogs' Spot and Spots' 4th reign. Last but not least, 1997, New Japan Pro Wrestling holds Battle Formation 97 at the Tokyo Dome in Tokyo, Japan, before 60,500 fans, the 24th largest crowd attending a professional wrestling event ever. In the main event, Naya Aguaya, in his professional wrestling debut, defeated IWGP Heavyweight Champion Shinya Hashimoto by TKO. Those were your pro wrestling history highlights for April 12th. I am the Eclectic Gentleman, Stephen Watts, and we'll see you tomorrow.